God damn it. Knew someone had the gun. Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. 'Tis time for doors. Or is it? We've already made all the door choices we can, anyway. Yes. Same where we left off. Gonna be getting another ending tonight. We'll be seeing if I did in fact successfully get the true ending or not.
The hallway goes to the left.
It'll be quite interesting to see. It'd be cool if I got it first try, but I also won't be surprised if I don't. We'll find out tonight. Hallway goes to the left.
Yeah, but I don't see any doors.
Yes, we just need to keep going.
Right. Let's go.
They turned left twice before they saw the elevator. Circle.
An elevator.
Just what we need. Let's take this to C deck.
In silence, they jogged up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and before long, they found themselves once again on C deck. The door opened, and they stepped off.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Junpei, Lotus, and Seven nodded at one another, and took off running down the long hallway in front of them. They ran and ran and ran. The hallway seemed endless.
I know where we need to go. The door behind the central staircase. There was a sun symbol on the keyhole of that door. And I happen to have the sun key in my pocket right now.
Yes, you do, buddy.
This should open that door.
This is why they ran for the central staircase. Or that was. I can read. Yeah, they had run for quite some time when they arrived at the door that ended the hallway. Or ended the hallway. I can read so good. The Jupiter door was already unlocked.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Junpei grabbed hold of the doorknob and threw it open. They rushed through. And stopped cold.
What?
The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. I don't... Huh? The fuck? 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood.
Why?
Great question, buddy. Junpei felt a cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold. But his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank.
What the hell?
Us too, Seven. Us too.
What the hell happened?
Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged toward the bodies, his movements stiff.
Clover.
He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist.
Nothing. She's dead.
Did June do this? 'Cause she's the only one not accounted for right now. Like, I guess in theory it could be Snake too, but like... as far as I'm aware, like, Snake is in a coffin, you know? Unless I'm forgetting someone, but I don't think I am. Suddenly Lotus moved. Before he understood what was happening, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket.
Hey, what are you doing?
He leapt back. Lotus looked up at him, terrified.
The key! Get me the sun key!
Why?
Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back!
Great point, great point.
The murderer?
No shit, Junpei. Does that look like natural causes to you? The murderer. The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies.
Santa, Clover, and Ace. 3 people, 3 dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the person who had killed them was... No. No, it can't be true.
Give it to me!
Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove back into his pocket and came out with the key.
Let's go!
Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran, straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door.
Open!
Lotus shoved the sun key into the keyhole and twisted it hard. But
Why?
What happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock.
Ace dead, Snake should be in coffin, Santa dead, Clover dead, Junpei there, June unaccounted for, Seven there, Lotus there, Ninth man been dead. Yeah, June is the only person. Yeah.
Oh no. Is it the wrong key?
I don't know. Maybe.
Lotus sighed, defeated, and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame.
It's open.
What the hell is this?
Wait, you mean the door was already unlocked?
Why?
Then how would I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door the rest of the way. They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out toward the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were all breathing heavily as Junpei spoke.
What the hell is this door?
A door.
I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or switch or lever or card reader or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this?
Great question, buddy.
We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back.
No, I'm not going back there. There is a murderer back there.
There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging.
But I don't see any other doors.
As he spoke, Seven stepped toward the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door.
No way.
Huh.
It opened by itself.
Convenient.
It's an automatic door?
Look, guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this.
So do I, Seven, so do I.
The other doors were already unlocked, and this one's automatic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything like this before.
Bad feeling.
Junpei? How could their situation possibly get worse? I mean, okay, that's a great question. 3 people were already dead.
We've hit bottom. This can't get any worse. Shit!
Hey, Junpei!
Actually. Yeah, okay. Even if June was magically not a murderer, they wouldn't be able to get through door 9. He stepped through the door.
I can't take this anymore.
Uh-huh.
No one can.
Uh-huh. and whatever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared.
No. It's a lie. It's gotta be. This can't be real. No. It's impossible. If it's a dream, just wake up already. Someone please tell me it's all just a joke. I'm imagining things. Yep, that's it. This is all obviously a lie. It's a big, elaborate trick. An illusion or something, or a dream. It's made up.
It wasn't real, right? June? No, the codenames meant nothing now, I can read.
Ah! Ah!
Connie.
Connie!
Oh. Huh. Interesting. Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest.
Connie, hang on!
Junpei swept her up and shook her by the shoulder. By the shoulder? Wait, shoulder, not shoulders. Hello? She moaned and her eyes fluttered open, but only barely.
Connie!
Jumpy?
Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted his hand up. It was covered in blood.
Oh man, Connie, there's so much blood. What the hell happened to you? How did this happen?
It was all he could do not to break into tears.
Jumpy, I'm sorry.
Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him.
I might not make it.
No way I am going to let you die. I am going to save you, I promise.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Jumpy. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've just gotta hang on, all right, Connie? You... Ow, what can I do? Damn it!
He looked up from Connie, desperate for something. Anything.
What's that?
Sub. Then he saw it. A small submarine.
A submarine? What on earth is a submarine doing here?
It's a yellow submarine. No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered, except saving Connie. And that was the only thing he wanted.
That's it!
Junpei turned his head back to look down at her.
Hang on, all right? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna go see if it works.
No! Don't go. Please, don't go. Please, just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Jumpy. When I...
Connie.
Jumpy, did you know...
The Muffin
you
Man.
meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
Jumpy, do you remember we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. all of those moments are treasures to me. I also wanted to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now.
No. I mean, yes. Yes, it will happen. We'll go all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise. We'll go wherever you want.
Really?
Yeah, really. I swear.
That makes me happy. Really happy.
She said it to herself, over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face.
Jumpy, I feel sleepy.
No, Connie, don't fall asleep.
Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much.
Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed, even as he felt his throat go hoarse.
Connie! Connie! Connie!
Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until he had no tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere, he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. Where did Lotus and Seven go? It rang 5 times, then faded.
5 o'clock.
Quietly, gently, softly, he set Connie down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? That's what I asked earlier. Slowly, he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign that they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly, he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart with a sound like grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. Yeah, I had a feeling. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. Had it been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel? When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea of blood. 2 bodies lay in it. There's no need to check. There's no breath left in them. His eyes lit on Lotus' wrist. Guys, I don't think this is the true ending. It is definitely not the true ending. Her bracelet. It was gone. Interesting. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. Part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Tears poured from his eyes in great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around. The door opened again, and slowly, numbly, he walked through. He kept walking. Why stop? An object set in motion. Simply inertia carried him forward. Eventually, he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. I guess no one lives on a yellow submarine. But then he was floating on water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body lay behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. At the central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of 7 and Lotus. And in this very room lay the body that had once been Connie. And now, Junpei would join them. Who, then, had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath, faintly. He felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of the water. Well, that ending sucks because there's no closure, because who done it? I know one of the endings is called the sub-ending, and I'm thinking this might be the sub-ending, because sub... Who, though? Was it just some other person on the boat? I wish Akane, like, told us anything. Because it would have been great if she gave us information, you know? I'm not sure we'll find out in the other endings either. Well, I feel like we have to find out in the other endings. But, like, I genuinely have no clue who could it be. Like, I don't think it's Snake. It's out of character, especially since even Clover is dead. We all die by a yellow submarine. uh. Okay, so the sub-ending is over there. Is that the obvious answer, that Zero was never really one of them? Are you sure about that? I'm not sure about that, Spooky. Okay, I was supposed to go through door 1 instead of door 2. Okay. Let's see, pick that door here, right? Yeah.
My choice is door 1.
Santa was unconvinced. Listen here, Santa.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating? Cheating? I'm asked. How could I do that? I wrote it. Let me see. Sure.
Junpei is a, like, smelly cheater. I could
Very
check
well,
to see if I pick the correct
Girls,
options for the true ending. Still, I guess.
Oh,
But,
fine. 7.
Sure, I didn't really decide, right?
I still want to see if I picked the correct choices on my own first. Because it's not the end of the world if we get, like, yet another ending to me, you know? Huh? Her eyes were the eyes of a woman prepared to kill. A shiver ran down Junpei's spine. I guess I should have paid attention to how...
me old.
Oh, sorry, Lotus.
This is why men are such a pain in the ass.
Understandable, have a nice day.
They're about as subtle as a brick.
I am so sorry, Lotus, that I skipped through, because I don't understand what is happening here.
And they're at it again.
Okay, so we have Santa with us, I guess. I missed how the teams were split up. I shouldn't have clicked so fast. Even after they separated the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself, "Can I go to a log?" I can! Oh my god. The amount of times I wanted to check a log, I didn't know if I could. Okay, so... Yep. Very well, we've decided who will go through door 1. It will be Clover, Junpei, and myself. We have Ace again. The only problem is with the 2 remaining teams. June and I want door 6. Lotus I want door 2. That's not good. Can't open either of those with 2 people. Fine. 7, we'll go through door 6, says Lotus. 3, 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. Okay. So that's why she was grumbling to herself. Sort of thing. I didn't really want to go through door 2 anyway. Besides, if we got a younger girl here with us, we'll lower the average age. Right, June? Now I understand why she's grumbling. Sheesh. Well, Joe's at a loss for words. Lotus was not. Yeah, I'm that pig. You just wait to see. Okay, I understand what happened now. Okay.
I'll see you later, June.
Jumpy.
Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much.
Don't make that face. It'll be like what Seven said.
Oh, I guess it makes sense that we have to be with Clover in order for the true end, because we need to talk to Clover some more. Yeah.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9.
Plus, I think during the safe end, it was like here, I can actually. Because 7, Lotus, and Clover went into a room together. Yeah, they went into room 1 first, and Clover got information that pretty much told her to check the safe. So, it makes sense that we have to go through door 1 for the true ending. I just didn't think about it until now, obviously.
We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again.
See, bunny ears. I hope that worked, because I can't see OBS.
Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the notary game works.
Oh, why are you on auto? I was wondering why that was just going. Sheesh. Okay, the sea bunny ears are there. Yay! Anywho's. 7's words took a weight off of Junpei's shoulders and felt much better. Oh, it went on auto because of the hotkey for the bunny ears. I see.
It'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you later.
Lingering uneasy remained, but they went their separate directions without much trouble. Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed toward A deck.
Here's A deck. It was the door on the left, right?
That should be it, yes.
Then here we go.
It opened, and they walked through.
It's just as Santa and Lotus said.
At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large red one upon it.
A numbered door.
To the left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red.
There's the red. I'll go first.
Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel.
Now the two of you, if you would.
Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned toward the scanner panel. The third asterisk clicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever.
Now.
He took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready? Shall I pull it?
Yeah, anytime.
Clover said nothing. She nodded, little more than a lethargic twitch of the head.
Very well then. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
And it's open! Move it!
They stumbled into the room.
Where is it?
Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. His eye stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died.
There it is! Over there!
Next to the door they come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it. Oh boy, door numero uno. Yeah.
It stopped.
Yes, it did.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. Ace and Clover were breathing hard and fast.
Whew. I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
I agree.
Now then.
Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly.
There's another door. Let's try opening it.
He took hold of the knob and easily, gently pulled it open.
So, this is the wheelhouse?
He closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke.
Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door.
Very well.
Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something.
Okay, I will.
All right then, let's get started.
Flicks Junpei for forcing Clover to speak. Sheesh. That looked like a lot. Oh boy, map. I think this is a nautical short. There's this line on it here. I think the line is the route the ship is supposed to take. There are these dots all over the map. Oh, those are probably ports, like for a boat to stop at. It looks like the lines connect the dots. Interesting. There's nothing left in the drawer. Okay, it's only the one drawer I can look at. Okay. All those doors, I can only look at one. All those doors, so that's it. Okay. Ooh, pocket watch. That's a pocket watch. She sure hasn't been saying much. And she just keeps looking at the floor. She seems kinda sad. It's like she thinks her brother is dead or something. A voice he hadn't expected startled Junpei from his examination of the pocket watch.
Oh, pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
Why are you in this room? Go back to your wheelhouse. He spun around to find Ace standing in the doorway. Junpei shrugged and handed him the pocket watch.
Hey, man. What are you doing over in this room?
That's what I was asking.
Oh, I just thought I'd come check up on the two of you. Is there a problem?
Yes, you're an asshole. Okay, well, I said yes. I don't want to actually say that because I don't think that's a good thing to say in this particular case. Well, not a problem, but...
Well, not a problem, but... That's a lie. I wanted to get rid of Ace. I sent him to the wheelhouse at the beginning for a reason.
Yeah, I figured.
I wanted to talk to Clover alone.
I figured.
There's something I want to ask her. And I don't want anyone to overhear us.
Yep,
I'm pretty sure Clover won't talk if there's anyone else around.
of course.
I'm a little desperate to send him back. Quick. He has to leave.
Ace opened his mouth, then took another look at Junpei and shut it again. A small smirk appeared on his face.
Oh, I see. Of course.
He looked Junpei over, and then glanced at Clover.
I apologize for the intrusion.
I feel like he definitely misinterpreted the situation, but you know what? Whatever gets him out, you know?
Well, best of luck.
Whatever gets him to leave, sheesh. Ace gave Junpei a knowing pat on the shoulder and left. Oh dear. Junpei let out a sigh and brushed a few drops of sweat from his forehead. He turned and found himself looking straight into Clover's eyes. She'd heard what Ace had said. She regarded Junpei with caution.
What was that about?
He completely misinterpreted, there we go, that's the word, the situation, Clover. Don't worry about it, as long as he is out. She was clearly suspicious, and with good reason.
Why are you looking at me like that?
'Cause you're small and cute. Junpei's eyes widened, and he held up his hands in a gesture of innocence.
Oh, no, it's not like that.
What's it like then?
I just wanted to hear the rest of that story. I didn't get a chance to ask you about it until now.
What story?
About the experiment, remember? The one you started to tell me in the operating room? You said something about an experiment that happened here 9 years ago.
Clover bit her lip. She stared down on the floor for several long moments, and when she spoke, it was barely audible.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to talk about that right now.
Fair.
I'm just not in the mood, okay? You understand, right? I keep thinking about my brother. I can't stop. I mean, who would do something like that to my brother?
Man, I really wonder. Hopefully someone like that wouldn't just be in the wheelhouse right now, in the room right over there, you know? Like, who really could do such a thing?
I can't forgive them. I'm not gonna let them get away with it.
Understandable, have a nice day.
They're gonna pay for it. I promise. So...
Her shoulders were shaking. Drops of blood had sprung up on her lips where she was biting them. She wiped it off and looked up at Junpei, her eyes fierce and angry.
Junpei, who do you think did it?
Her voice was cold and scarcely above a whisper. Junpei gulped.
Well, if what Seven said was right, then there would have to be at least 2 of them. You need at least 3 people to open the numbered doors, and if you subtract Snake, that means there were at least 2 other people.
You're right. So, what does that mean?
Well, if we just look at the bracelet numbers, we should be able to figure it out.
Math.
Who could have opened door 3 with Snake? Well, really, who and who, or who and who?
You mean it could have been 4 people?
Well, technically it's possible.
I don't know. That doesn't seem very likely.
Why?
I'll tell you later. Why don't we just assume it was only 2 other people for now?
Okay, got it. Let's do that then.
Then who do you think it could be?
Junpei crossed his arms and thought. Snake's bracelet number was 2. Which 2 bracelet numbers added to 2 would give a digital root of 3. Well, it's not any of the Ace combinations, because we know that Ace did it with 9's bracelet, so... What adds to 10, I guess, is the question. Santa and June. Or no. That's 2. Santa and 7 adds to 10. Yeah. Yeah.
Would it be Santa and 7?
2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 12, because 1 plus 2 equals 3.
The digital root for Snake, Santa, and 7 is... 3! Wait, hold on. Are Santa and 7 the killers?
What's wrong?
Clover looked at Junpei, and he looked back at her. There's no point in hiding it.
Well, I thought about it, and
He told her his conclusions.
That's what I thought.
She looked less surprised than he'd expected.
Santa and 7. If it was 2 people, then that's the only combination that works.
hey, wait a minute there. Don't you think it's a little too early to be jumping to conclusions?
No, she said if.
Well, all I said is that those 2 would have been able to open door 3 with your brother. There might be other possibilities.
Uh-huh.
Well, what other possibilities?
He didn't have an answer. He was ready to admit defeat when Clover spoke.
Are you saying you think that it was 3 or 4 people? I really don't think that's likely.
Why not?
Can I borrow your pen and paper?
Clover put her hand out expectantly.
Yeah, here.
Junpei pulled out his pen and pad of paper and handed them to her. She opened the notebook and wrote down several simple addition problems. Eventually, she had 8, which provided a digital root of 3. A. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 equals 12. 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 5 equals 12. C. 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21. 2 plus 5 plus 6 plus 8 equals 21. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21. 2 plus 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 equals 21. 2 plus 1 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 equals 21. 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 equals 21.
What's this?
These are the combinations for 3 or 4 people. These 8 combinations are the only possible ones.
Oh, I see.
Junpei,
Yeah?
I can trust you, right?
Of course.
Of course. Why would you need to ask that?
Given the circumstances, Junpei, it makes sense why she would need to ask that.
Really?
Yeah.
So then I should get rid of B, D, G, and H, right?
Of course. Just cross them out. And you should take off yours too. The ones with 4.
So, what does that leave?
A and E.
Two plus 1 plus 3 plus 6 equals 12. 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21.
Wait, it can't be A.
Why?
Because June's in that one. There's no way in hell she'd do something like that.
I'm not so sure about that, but okay, Junpei.
Are you sure?
I bet my life on it.
Okay then. I can cross off A too, right?
Yeah.
So this still leaves both Santa and 7, which they wouldn't.
Well, what have we got left?
E.
2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21.
Do you know what this means?
That you guys are wrong, because what if someone took the 9th man's bracelet?
Everyone besides me, you, and June would be working together.
Which seems unlikely, right?
Do you think that's likely?
Nope.
If there were 4 people working together, they wouldn't be very cautious. I don't think they'd try that hard to hide what they were doing if they outnumbered us, right?
True.
Well, you do have a point.
And besides, if Ace and 7 are working together, they could have easily gotten rid of me when I went to the shower room with them.
Oh yeah, huh?
But they didn't. They didn't even try anything. If they were killers, why wouldn't they?
True. Her voice is calm, but Junpei had only to look her in the eye to know it was a forced calm. There were tears forming at the corners of her eyes, and she was blinking furiously to keep them back. Perhaps by attempting an objective analysis of who might have killed her brother, she had been able to distance herself from the harsh reality of his death. The more she struggled to act unconcerned, the more Junpei felt his hurt tighten.
Oh, I see. Anyway, I understand now. It seems pretty unlikely that it was as many as 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And that means there's a good chance it was Santa and Seven.
Unless...
That's how it looks.
But why would they do it?
There was a moment of silence.
Their motive.
He laid his hand gently on her shoulder. He was close, so close to the answer. When Ace chose the worst possible moment to return. Hey, what do you know? The killer's right there! He raised a knowing eyebrow and then spoke.
Have I interrupted something?
Yeah.
What is it?
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
He turned on his heel and walked back toward the wheelhouse.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Junpei looked over at Clover. He gave her a short nod, hoped that she would be willing to talk to him again later, and followed Ace.
What did you want to talk about?
So, what if hypothetically I got the ninth man's watch, and I'm the one that kills Snake? Anyways. Ace looked at Junpei and smiled. Perhaps more of a smirk than a smile.
There was something I wanted to check.
Yeah?
Yeah? What's that?
If you'll excuse me.
Huh? With no warning, Ace slipped his hand into the pocket of Junpei's vest.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
I'm just checking.
Consent is important, Ace. Can't just grope a man.
No, stop!
He reached for Ace's arm. But it was already too late.
In
In the older man's hand were the pieces of paper Junpei had balled up and hidden in his pocket.
Just as I thought. What exactly are these pieces of paper hiding in your pocket?
Quick, Junpei, eat them, yes!
You switched them, didn't you, when we voted?
And?
Well, I can't say that I care.
I
I managed to get through the numbered door I wanted, despite your mischief.
Then, why did you...
Oh, simple curiosity. I hope you won't think ill of me for it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep a mental note of that. If I need to just calculate the digital root, I'm just gonna give myself head pats. Anyways. He smiled, gave Junpei a friendly pat on the shoulder, and then turned on his heel and left. Oh, I wonder if he's thinking that, Junpei did it so that way, he could be in the same room as Clover. Like, I wonder if that's what Ace is thinking. It's like, interesting that Junpei wants a moment with Clover, and then maybe he's just, thinking about the math. It's like, wait, what if he was sneaky like Santa suggested, just so he could be in this room with Clover, you know? It was a small defeat, but it was a defeat. Junpei had lost the upper hand, and he knew it. He could feel his stomach begin to tense.
Damn.
Well, anyways... Oh, interesting. It looks like this is the only exit. Interesting. Back to this room. Right drawer. Let's have a look. Nothing. Left drawer. Let's have a look. Nothing. Okay. It's a wooden box. Maybe a case for letters? Hey, Clover, you ever write letters? Nothing. So, the shelves. The shelves are lined with books. Let's see what's in this blue one. There's something written on it. Ship's log. Huh. Ship's log, huh? New material has been added to the file screen. Cool. Well, these look very useful, okay? Map. It's got the Atlantic Ocean in the middle. Hey, Junpei. What do you think these red things are? Yeah, they look like pins. What do you think they're for? Who knows? What do you mean, who knows? Come on, be serious. I am. Well, the nautical charts I picked up earlier have a map like this one. Maybe one of them matches up to the pins or something. Let's see. Well, what do you know? Looks like this one's a match to the pins. Okay, so we got 7 locations connected by straight lines. And each one of them has a word next to it. That's probably the speed. Oh boy. Okay. Guess that's it from this room. Let's look at the files we just got. Ship's log found in the chart room. The following is written on the last page. We leave scene for a new journey across the sea. After leaving port, we headed to south and west. We turned southwest to steer around the continent, then proceeded northwest. We made port to change our heading to east for a time. We're now heading good due north. Soon we'll dock in the United Kingdom, the homeland of this vessel. Interesting. Nautical table found on the chart room. It shows directions of southwest, southwest, northwest, east, north, and straight. There's a word next to each point of the map. Full, half, slow, full, half, dead, stop. That's what it says. Interesting. Interesting. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. This isn't good. So many drawers, but nothing inside of them. Alright. A compass. It appears to be broken, however. You see, the glass cover has been smashed to pieces. Alright. And the helm. Well, steering wheel might be a more appropriate term. Okay. Oh. Oh! Okay, okay. I know what to do here. Not that. Time to write shit down! I really need a smaller little notebook. An engine order telegraph. They use this old ships to adjust the speed of the ship. Like the gear shift in a car. Well, it's a little different. This device doesn't connect directly to the engine. In short, it's a transmitter. The navigation officer uses it to set the speed of the ship, and it sends a signal to the engine. There's a handle on top of it, which can be moved back and forth too. Hold on. Huh? And there's no handle. You're right, there isn't. It looks as though it was deliberately removed. Oh. Okay. Got it. So we need to look for a replacement handle. Compass. And what destiny does it point us to? I really hope you don't think that sounded cool. Ah, a human hammer. They're often used to subdue large men like Seven. What? That was a joke, of course. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Ace, you really kinda suck at making jokes. That was rather cruel. Oh. The steering wheel. Let's see if it... Whoa. It looks like the steering wheel moves. So it would seem. I noticed something else as well. And what's that? Well, when you move this wheel, the compass also moves. What do you mean? The ship. It's moving. Ha! Tricked you, didn't I? The wheel and the compass must be connected to one another somehow. Do you think that's important? Well, let's try turning it again. I think I'm gonna need to read the other file again. But let's see. So south, west, southwest, northwest, east, north. If we got more of Comedian Ace, we wouldn't hate him as much. So true. Oh boy, writing stuff down is great, right? I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I just wish I had a smaller notebook that fit on my desk better with everything that I already have on my desk. Okay. Steering wheel. Steering wheel. If you move it, then the direction changes. I swear I saw something that had directions on it. Yes, you did. Maybe if I enter the directions in that order. Yes, I understand, my boy. Anywho's. Next time we get hard mode, which is fewer hints and everybody's their actual IQ level. Oh dear. Okay, let's try this again. South. And then west. Then southwest. Then northwest. Then east. And then north. What the? The handle came off. Heh. Stooping so low, are you, Zero? Okay. That's one way to get a handle, I guess. So, sure hope this handle fits. Yes, it fits. Excellent. That should allow us to operate the engine order telegraph. Let's give it a shot. But okay, pull, half, slow, full, half, dead slow, stop. Huh? That's weird. I thought I put it in the right speed. Did I mess up? No, I don't think so. Look, something's happened on the back wall of the wheelhouse. Yeah, you're right. Let's check it out. Huh? This? It's a wooden board with a circular hole in it. Okay, not that then. Yep. There's something on the wall that looks kind of like an arrival board. There are a whole bunch of words on the left side of the display. What the hell is this? They're names of ports across the world. I imagine it's showing us the ship's route. You know, just like the ones you might see at an airport. Deporting XX, carrier XX, flight XX at XX o'clock. Like that. No, I get it. It does look like those are the names of all the ports along the ship's route. It looks like only one of those has a time on it, though. The time on the last line, right? 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. Perhaps that's the arrival time? Interesting. This room is just like the other one. Metal plates bolted over the windows. Heck, not just bolted. It looks like they've been welded on. No way in hell are we going to get those off anytime soon. I was told a thing changed, but I don't know what changed. Do you guys remember what was supposed to have changed, allegedly? Because I'm confused. The rival board is what changed? Okay, well, I already looked at that. Oh, okay, I think I get it. Yeah, because that's exactly what this says, right? Or... mechanical pocket watch with a spring. It doesn't appear to be working. The hands have stopped at 5 minutes, 39 seconds past 10 o'clock. Turning the knob does nothing. Yeah, it's probably broken. It looks like as though you could move the hands, however. Okay, then move them. Sheesh. It looks like this is some sort of lock. It's got a weird shaped indentation on it. Huh? The shape. Maybe. Does look like the pocket watch would fit here. Nothing. I imagine the pocket watch is intended to go in there. However, we may need to do something with the watch first. Yeah, change the time on it. Let me do it. Broken pocket watch. I can only move the hands manually, the knob doesn't work. Then do it! Yeah. Maybe I need to click on the board again until he realizes that? Oh, perhaps. Whoa, what's he doing? Excuse me, Junpei. Hey, he just took my pocket watch. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Just trust me. It's his turn with a brain cell. You should be fine now. Well, thanks for giving me the pocket watch back, but you don't need to look so smug about it. Let's see what he... Oh, he moved the hands. 10 seconds past 3 o'clock. Oh, so you changed it to match the final arrival time. He nodded slowly. You know what to do next, right? Give it a shot. Thanks, Ace. Thanks, Dad. I don't know. I wanted to do it myself. I figured it out, but Junpei is stupid. Yes, put it in! Yes, it says open now. Good work. It seems you were successful. Well done, Junpei. Hey! Clover! Oh, that kind of hey. Hey, Clover. What? Look, we unlocked the door. Now we can get out of this room. Oh. Well, let's go then. Clover. Clover, baby.
Oh, a hallway.
Shocking.
It's far too narrow to be called one.
Still a hallway. They found themselves in a small space outside of the wheelhouse. On their left was a wooden door.
This seems to be the only route.
Yeah, let's go.
Junpei pushed it open and stepped into the room beyond.
Wow.
Interesting. It was full of all manner of turn-of-the-century electronic equipment.
Well, these machines are weird. I've never seen any of them before. Huh? Wait, this one is...
Something. One smaller machine had a metal bar that ended in a circular handle. He seemed to recognize it.
Ah, yes. A telegraph key. These were used to transmit Morse code a long time ago.
Oh yes, you would know because you're old enough. You must have used them plenty of times before, Ace. He turned and slowly took in the room.
This must be the communication office.
Across the room from the door they'd entered through was another door.
And that door?
A metal plaque was nailed to it. It read,
Captain's quarters. Huh.
That's what it says.
Then, do you think...
No, I do not think. He swallowed. Junpei could feel his hands begin to sweat. Only Clover seemed unaffected.
Well, we won't know if we don't open it.
True. She walked up to the door and put her hand on the knob. It opened easily, and without so much as a pause, she walked in. Junpei and Ace followed. The first thing they saw was a man on the floor, covered in blood. Junpei felt his body seize up, his mouth went dry, and he felt very, very cold. The blood in his veins slowed to a crawl, and his heart tightened like a fist.
Not again.
This was the third time he'd seen the horror of death laid out before him. He didn't think it was something he could stand to see much more of. Still, he had begun to accept that whatever it was that he saw, whatever happened to him, was beyond his control, and whatever force controlled him was driven by a determination that he could not hope to match.
Damn.
A sense of helplessness, of desperation washed over him. It left behind a feeling of utter emptiness that wormed its way through his body like acid.
No, wait. We didn't check his pulse yet. Maybe he's still alive.
Fueled by that spark of hope, Junpei ran to the man's body, and his heart fell. He also has a bracelet. Oh. Right, because, like, the Zero bracelet that, like, Seven had, he got from Clover. Right? So, this is that bracelet. Interesting. When he touched his hand to his neck,
No pulse.
his pupils had dilated, and he wasn't breathing.
Well, he's dead. Damn. If only we knew how it happened.
Junpei lifted the man's already stiff body. There was a deep red wound on his chest.
These wounds. I wonder what killed him.
Junpei did not have to wonder long.
It must have been this.
Interesting, because I know one of the other endings is called an axe ending. So, I wonder if that's related. For lying next to the corpse was an axe. The entire blade of it was drenched in bright red blood. From the shape of the man's wound, there could be no doubt that it had been made by the axe. Junpei looked at the body again. A lake of blood stretched out around it. It was wearing the clothes of a ship's captain, although they were stained with blood.
These clothes. A captain. Does that mean this guy was Zero?
On his left hand was a bracelet. The number on the bracelet was 0.
Bracelet 0.
It was only then that Junpei noticed the stench of blood that filled the room. He couldn't help but laugh. There was nothing else for him to say. It was too simple, too obvious, too straightforward. If there had been a dead man on the floor, Junpei might have thought it was a joke.
Junpei.
It may be wise to find a way out of here first.
Yeah, you're right.
Here we go. Oh. Interesting. There's blood on the chair. Do you think this was the dead guy's? Yeah, probably. Interesting. Music box! Can we listen to it? No, it's one of those old music boxes. How about we wind it up? Why does it sound like that? Is it broken? The pins on the cylinder are shaped all weird. I don't think those are the pins. It looks like someone put something else on top of it. I think we're gonna have to take it apart to figure out what's that going on, don't you? Lamp. It's a lamp. But it doesn't turn on. I don't think there's anything special about it. Small table. I didn't mean to click on it again. A bed. There's nothing in it. Alright. Control panel for the electric lock. I guess I gotta put in a passcode. I don't think it's just about numbers. There's a hole in the bottom of it right there. I think you need to put a key in it first. A camcorder. It looks like it's pointed at the door. Well, the power's on. Why would someone want to videotape a door? Interesting. There's a plaque on the door, but it doesn't say anything. How bizarre. They look like batteries. There's a cable running from them to the monitor. Oh boy. What's the deal with this? Is it some kind of code? There are 4 rows of numbers and letters. They all start with a 0 and end with an 8, F, N, or V's respectively. Maybe this has something to do with the number bases. Oh boy. And that's it. There's a bunch of weird buttons on here. They probably switch what you see on the screens. Do you know how to work this thing? Why don't we just press one of these? Like this one. Well, I guess it does change the... But where the hell is this? There's nothing on the monitor, just static. Junpei snorted with the grim humor for the second time since he'd come into the room. The 4 screens along the bottom had a single letter each, spelling out
Z-E-R-O, huh? It's like he's making fun of us. What do you think?
He turned to Clover, who was standing next to him. Clover nodded.
Nothing.
It seemed that she cared about little. Of course, Junpei could hardly blame her. Given the strain she was surely under, Junpei was somewhat surprised she had responded at all. Still, he had to ask. He gestured toward the corpse.
What about him? Do you think that's really Zero?
Clover shook her head weakly.
There's no way that's him. Didn't I tell you already? Zero is one of us.
Yeah, right. Well, even if he wasn't one of us, there's no way that man could be Zero.
Huh?
Don't you get it? The letters that spell Zero on the TV screen, the captain's clothes he's got on, and of course, the bracelet with a 0 on it. It's too obvious. Look, this is Zero right here. This dead body is Zero. Isn't that kind of fishy?
You're right. Only an idiot wouldn't see through something like that.
No, that's not the point. So I'm not trying to make fun of them for thinking a trick like this would work. I'm sure they didn't think it would work, which makes me wonder.
You're not gonna finish your sentence, Junpei? Sheesh. Why did they do it?
I think this is a challenge. A challenge from the person who's really behind all of this. He's making fun of us. Don't you get it? If whoever killed this guy really wanted us to think this corpse was Zero, they'd never have put a bracelet on him. Walking around with a 0 bracelet would be like hanging a sign around your neck that said, "I did it!" Anyone with a brain would be able to see that this guy is supposed to look like everything Zero is supposed to be. Just like we did. The killer must have known we wouldn't think he was Zero and put the bracelet on him anyway. Do you know why?
Why?
Like I said, he's mocking us. Too bad, suckers, this isn't Zero. Where's the real me then? See if you can catch me. It's the same bad joke a lot of criminals like to play. They'll just sit back and watch people run in circles.
That's really twisted. But it almost seems kind of childish.
Yeah, you're right. It's really childish. It's like it's just a game to whoever this person is. That's what seems funny to me.
It is an onery game. Junpei bent down next to the corpse.
Alright, let's get back to the point. Who killed this man?
I don't know.
And what's this guy's deal? Who is he?
How would I know that? If I knew anything, I would have told you.
You have no idea who he is.
Why would I?
Junpei sat back on his haunches and thought.
We should check and see if he's got anything on him that might tell us who he is. Give me a hand here, Clover.
Huh?
Where's Ace?
We gotta flip him over. How else are we gonna search his pockets?
Clover didn't move.
Okay, fine. Guess I'll do it.
Junpei had no choice but to move the body on his own.
Here we go.
He grabbed hold of an area not completely covered in blood and shoved. It took a moment, but eventually Junpei felt the man's bulk begin to shift. But just as it did,
Huh?
something fell from the man's left wrist.
Hey, it's the
bracelet with 0 on the face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confine of the ship, or the backside of the wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Oh god.
Junpei stared at the bracelet.
This man, he's dead, isn't he?
I thought you knew that and understood that already, Junpei.
Huh?
No, it's just, I guess I didn't really think about it until right now.
Good job, Junpei.
If his bracelet's off, that means he's dead.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's pretty obvious that he's dead. You don't really need to look at his bracelet to figure out that he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you're right. It is pretty obvious. Well, he looks a lot better than the other bodies we've seen, though. You know? I mean, if there wasn't all this blood, he'd almost look like he was still alive. I mean, I know it's kind of a messed up thing to say, but he kinda has it better, you know?
Junpei, I think you should stop.
Dying from a bomb going off inside of you? I mean, that's just...
Junpei, you should be operating right now under the impression that Clover's brother died exactly the same way. Stop.
Some of Snake's bones went right through his skin. I think the explosion must have thrown him against a wall or something.
Please elaborate. Please say it was the left arm.
There was a broken bone just sticking out of his left arm.
There it is. Let's go. Clover, tell him it's stupid.
And,
Suddenly, Junpei realized what he was saying. How could he have been so cruel? He clapped his hands over his mouth. No, you were insensitive, but it was already too late. You're gonna get a different reaction than you're expecting. He turned to look at Clover. She was glaring at him furiously.
What did you just say?
Her words sounded cold. He knew an apology could hardly atone for what he'd done, but he tried anyway.
oh man, I am so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I really don't know what I was thinking. I mean,
No, that's not what I'm talking about. What did you say about his arm?
Yeah, exactly, Junpei. Dread. Clover. Joy. It's like, wait.
arm?
Yes, his left arm. You said it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I did, but I mean, didn't you see it too?
Of course not. I could barely look at him. There's no way I was gonna see the details.
I was wondering why she didn't catch on to that when she saw it herself, but yeah, that makes sense. Clover took a quick, deep breath.
Are you sure it was his left arm?
Junpei thought back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
And he had a broken bone, right?
What the hell are you getting at here?
Let her get to her point, confirm the information.
Just shut up and answer me!
Yeah, exactly. She shoved her face closer to his. You could see the fire in her eyes. Junpei winced and swallowed.
Yeah, he did. It was pretty bad, too. The bone was sticking out of the arm.
No sooner were the words out of his mouth than Clover's expression changed.
Clover? What's wrong? Look, I'm sorry if I said anything.
I mean, you were being very insensitive, but... Suddenly, she was crying. Tears of joy. Junpei wasn't sure what to do. Fair.
Thank you.
It was close to the last thing he had expected to hear.
Huh? What are you...
Junpei had no idea what had just happened. He didn't think he'd done anything worthy of thanks, and he couldn't understand why she would have chosen that moment to begin crying. So he simply stood there, confused.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She thanked him again, and then something even stranger happened. Naww. Clover threw herself into Junpei's surprised arms.
Hey, what's going on with you?
I'm sorry, it's just... I'm so happy.
Junpei going off about this dead dude while he's having a crisis. Clover, oh my god, my brother's alive! Yeah!
Why?
The body in the shower room, it isn't his. It isn't my brother.
Huh?
It's not Snake.
Why on earth would you think that?
Because his left arm is...
She stopped herself.
I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be talking about this.
Junpei decided it would be prudent not to press her for any more information. If she did not wish to tell him, she certainly had a reason for doing so. Perhaps more importantly, however, if Clover was so certain, then she was most likely right. That meant that the body in the shower room wasn't Snake. It wasn't much, but that knowledge lifted some of the weight from Junpei's heart.
But he's still alive. I'm so happy.
Tears shone in her eyes. Those tears melted Junpei's heart. As she cried, she had pushed herself up against his chest like a child. Junpei put his arms around her and held her tight.
I'm so glad!
Huh?
Junpei, you were right!
Huh?
No matter what happens, you can never lose hope. You have to remember what's most important, and that's to have faith and to have love. If you can remember all of those, that'll bring you good luck.
Clover reached into her pocket and pulled something out.
That's...
It was a laminated bookmark with a 4-leaf clover.
I only made it here because you gave me this. I was suspicious of everybody. I was angry and miserable. But because I had this 4-leaf clover, because of what you said to me,
Yeah.
Junpei hadn't thought his words would have had such an effect on her. Her words were making him feel a little awkward.
Thank you so much, Junpei.
She looked up at him. He scratched his nose and pretended to notice something interesting somewhere else in the room.
Oh, if you really want to thank somebody, you should be thanking Santa.
Santa? Why?
Well, he was the one who gave me that thing. And the words for each leaf, I got that from him too.
Oh.
Then suddenly, Clover broke away from Junpei.
Huh?
He looked confused. He hadn't thought she'd react that poorly. Clover began to pace across the room. Six steps to the left, 6 steps to the right, another 6 to the left, and then she stopped.
Did Santa really tell you those things?
Her eyes were serious, but not angry.
Yeah, he did. Did I, say something wrong?
Oh no, not at all. In fact, this could be really good news, I think.
You think?
Santa knew about the words and the clover. The only people who should know about that are the other subjects.
Subjects?
The other people who were in the experiment 9 years ago, with my brother and me. But he's blind, and I was part of the Nevada test group. So neither of us would be able to recognize the faces of the people who were on this boat.
Whoa, okay, time out.
Junpei held up his hands. He took a deep breath and let it out.
Let's just calm down for a second, okay? Start from the top. Don't start with the end and then jump to the middle. You gotta start with 1 and then move to 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. If you don't tell me stuff in the right order, I'm never gonna be able to figure it out.
Okay.
Clover nodded.
All right, let's start with this experiment. What happened on this boat 9 years ago?
Do you know about morphogenetic fields?
Morphogenetic fields.
He did, and the realization sent chills down Junpei's spine.
All right, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism.
I think Lotus mentioned something like that.
Junpei recounted what Lotus had told him earlier. Clover nodded.
Telepathy, huh? Well, that's not really it, but I suppose it's similar.
So they were testing telepathy on this ship?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, what exactly did they have you guys do?
The same thing that we're doing now. Exactly the same thing.
What?
The nonary game. 9 people were put on this boat, and 9 others were put in the building in Nevada, and the game started.
Oh, I see. Junpei grabbed the sides of his head.
Look, I'm sorry, but I don't get it.
It's okay, Junpei.
What do the nonary game and some telepathy experiment have to do with each other? Am I missing something here?
Clover bit her lip. She blinked back, sudden tears. What had happened to her in Nevada?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. You know how sometimes when you're up against a really tough problem, and then the answer just kind of pops in your head? That's an epiphany. And what you learn from the epiphany can be transmitted with telepathy. When you add danger to that equation, then it gets easier to transmit that information over telepathy.
So you're saying the nonary game was supposed to introduce that element of danger?
Yeah, but it couldn't be just any old danger. It had to be life and death. And someone did actually die. A girl.
Huh.
Junpei felt the sudden grip of despair on his heart. Something deep and distant and powerful squeezed him. For a moment, he felt very, very empty and alone.
She was on the boat with my brother. I was in Nevada. I never met her, but I did hear her name. Her name was...
God damn it, Ace! The sound of the door opening was like a gunshot. Junpei spun around.
Oh, my apologies. I seem to have disturbed you.
Again.
Ace!
You two must have strong stomachs. I can't imagine how you could stay in this room for so long.
Oh yeah, there's that smelly body. Ace glanced down at the floor. At the corpse covered in blood.
At any rate, Junpei, would you be so kind as to come and help me with something? I'm having a little trouble, and I could really use your assistance.
I could make a joke. I'm not. I could, though. You guys can use your imaginations for what the joke would be.
Come on, it'll only take a moment.
Sure it will. With that, he turned and walked back toward the communications office. Clover waited until he was out of sight, then spoke in a small, quiet voice.
I don't want Ace to hear us. We can talk about this later.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, wait!
Clover ignored him. From outside, Junpei could hear Ace calling.
Junpei, what are you doing in there? Hurry up!
Grumbling to himself, Junpei stomped off toward the communications office. It looks as though that drawer is the only thing that's locked. I don't see a keyhole, though. An electric lock, perhaps? Take a look at the left side of the drawer. Yeah, there's some cables over there. I must mean. Hey, what's this? It's blank. There's nothing written on it. A white piece of paper. It's blank. Alright. No, okay. Hey Ace, look. It's a model of a steam train. How on earth did you arrive at that conclusion? Okay. Hey Ace, look. It's a monkey with glasses. How on earth did you arrive at that conclusion? Alright. Oh boy. It's a telegraph key. A machine for transmitting Morse code. I tried sending an SOS earlier, but I doubt that did anything. Zero would never make it that easy. So you think it's broken? No, it works. I'm just not sure if it actually transmits anything outside of the ship. Telegraph key. It says you could use it to send messages in Morse code. Okay. Hey, Ace, look. There's a big-ass rat trap over here. I told you, that's a telegraph key. It's a device that transmits messages through Morse code. Okay. Tippy-tap. Let me tippy-tap. Fine. What's this? Can I click anything else? No. Why can't I tippy-tap? Just normal light. Oh, I'm gonna turn on maybe not that normal. You already know what Ace's deal is? Yeah, he's a fucking freak. A clock mounted on the wall. The hands aren't moving. A little surprised that the time is wrong then, I suppose. And there's nothing on the back. Oh boy, small screwdrivers. Alright, the screwdriver ought to make short work of this music box. Cylinder! Ink. No, okay. It's an old telegraph machine. I'll be honest, I have no idea how it works. It's an old telegraph machine. Nothing suspicious here. Alright. There's this pair of headphones on the desk. An early communications device, most likely used to transmit a radio signal of some sort. I experimented with it earlier, but to no avail. I imagine it's broken. Nope, not that. The cylinder is Morse code. Is it now? It looks to be a cylinder for a music box. There are a number of pins and some pieces of metal that look rather like fans attached to it. Okay, can't do anything with it yet though. Hey, isn't this the door on the screen so the one right behind us? You're right. So whatever that camera sees is sent to the screen in real time. I wonder if that means something, you know? Junpei, what are you doing? We searched the wheelhouse from top to bottom. There's no reason to go back. In fact, do you think it would be wise to investigate the captain's quarters? I think we ought to check both rooms, don't you? Listen, I'm just checking everything I can check. Look, a hook. That wasn't a joke. I know, man. I mean, I figure I can do something with it, but I don't know what. Not yet, anyway. I guess I'll put the ink on the cylinder. Dirty cylinder. Now I just gotta roll the cylinder across a piece of paper. I'm right, the ink should. Morse code! Just as you suspected, right? Now you have a pattern of dots and lines on the paper. I imagine it's Morse code. These dots and lines are the dots and dashes of Morse code. Time to write shit down. Alright, I've got the Morse code I'm supposed to enter. If I do this right, something will happen. I hope. Alright, let's give this a shot. Okay. I guess I didn't have to write it down, but that's fine. Wowee. That's the last one, and... yes! Excellent work, Junpei. Good job. You seem to have figured it out. You've unlocked the drawer. Thanks, Ace. The red file laid in the drawer. Junpei reached down and picked it up.
Looks like there's something on the cover. ALLICE.
Oh hey, all ice. Or Alice.
All ice.
Mm-hmm.
Alice.
Yep, that's what I did. I can't be doing this, Junpei.
Does this mean...
Yes. Junpei couldn't hold back. He had to know what was in that file. Each page was covered with strange characters. They looked like tiny drawings of birds, snakes, insects, horned animals, wings, and even kneeling humans. There were many pages in the file, and each was full of these strange symbols.
What the hell is this?
Hieroglyphics. He didn't realize he'd spoken out loud until Ace looked over at him.
They are hieroglyphs, a form of writing used in ancient Egypt.
Ancient Egypt?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Can you read them?
Of course.
Of course, he says.
I can't.
Thank
What would
you.
make you think I could?
I don't know if you're old enough.
What the hell?
Junpei flipped through a few more pages. It wasn't just one or two pages that were covered in the strange symbols. Every single page was covered in them.
Whoa, the whole thing's like that.
Shocking. Trying to read them was pointless. 35 equals Z. Is that what the Morse code is supposed to be? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about, Spooky. Junpei wasn't going to waste any more time with them. He made to close the file. And something fell out.
Huh? What's this?
He bent down and picked it up.
Oh, a key card.
There was a symbol on it that reminded Junpei of the symbols of the Saturn and Mercury key cards. This one, however, had a dot in the center of the male symbol.
Uranus. That's the Uranus symbol.
I believe it's pronounced Uranus. Junpei looked over to see Ace examining the card. In addition to the Uranus symbol, there were 3 words engraved on the card as well.
Something's written on the bottom. Bottom deck library. This must be the key to the library, then.
Shocker.
So it would seem.
Bottom deck library. Oh.
Junpei remembered something he'd heard from Seven when they'd been in the chemical closet.
Seven said something like...
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge beneath the navel of the gigantic.
That makes sense.
Could beneath the navel mean the bottom deck? And the forest of knowledge is the library?
Makes sense.
Then could Alice be in a room somewhere beyond the library?
What's wrong? Something on your mind?
Junpei blinked. Only then did he notice Ace looking at him. Curiosity and concern written across his face in equal parts.
Yeah. I just remembered something.
Is that so? What about?
Well, don't laugh, okay?
There was no reason for Junpei to hide his thoughts. He began to explain his theory to Ace. Then he stopped. It didn't make any sense if Ace didn't know who Alice was supposed to be. So he told Ace everything June had told him.
The Egyptian priestess and Ice 9. Interesting.
And the woman who wouldn't melt, who was recovered from the Titanic disaster? They called her All Ice, which eventually turned into Alice. And she was purchased by an English millionaire who called himself Lord Gordain. According to Seven, this ship is where he hid Alice.
And you think that he hid her in a small room, beyond the library on the bottom deck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is just a theory.
He stared off into the distance, his hand slowly and absent-mindedly stroking his beard. After a few moments, his hand stopped. He turned slowly to look at Junpei, and his brows drew together.
Junpei, have you ever heard of the term CAS?
Cass?
It stands for Cells Alive System. It is an advanced technology for freezing and preserving organic matter. Put simply, it is a technique that allows one to freeze things without the formation of ice crystals. Normally, if you freeze something fresh, water within its cells expands as it crystallizes, damaging the cell membrane. CAS, however, works differently. The object to be frozen is supercooled using magnetic fields, and then frozen instantly and uniformly, giving ice crystals no time to form. It was originally developed for the preservation of food, as an alternative to the normal freezing process. Now, however, there are rumors that it can be used for other things.
What do you mean, other things?
Well, there are obvious medical uses, but perhaps also space travel.
Space travel? Are you serious?
Surely you've heard of suspended animation, cryogenic freezing? It's a fairly common idea in science fiction books and films. People are sometimes frozen for especially lengthy journeys through space.
That was when Junpei understood what Ace was suggesting.
Whoa, wait a minute there.
Ace looked at him and raised an eyebrow.
Are you saying that Alice was frozen using that CAS thing?
Well, I'm sure the possibility is quite low, but it is a possibility. If this special ice you call Ice 9 does indeed exist, and CAS were used to freeze her into that sort of ice instantaneously.
You think she could be alive?
Well, I can't say for sure, of course. I'm only talking about possibilities. The melting point for Ice 9 is 96 degrees, right? If she were put somewhere where she could reach that temperature...
That's nuts. Are you really saying she could have defrosted and started walking about?
You're quite right. It does sound unbelievable. But if she had, then we would have an explanation for the man we found dead on the floor.
You mean the guy dressed like a captain?
Yes. He was dead when we found him. Clearly, he was murdered. But if he was murdered, then by whom? It couldn't have been one of us. That would be impossible. In order to enter the captain's quarters, one must first open door 1. That door that requires the Earth key prevented us from accessing door 1. Who was it that opened that door?
Santa and Lotus.
Right. Clearly, the two of them could not have opened door 1, or any other door for that matter. Who else then could have done so?
Junpei thought for a second.
Nobody. After Santa and Lotus used the Earth key, they turned back and met up with me and June. Then we returned to the large hospital room and found Ace, Seven, and Clover. While we'd gone into the shower room, Ace, Seven, and Clover had stayed behind. But it's impossible for those three to open door 1. But what about when June and I took the elevator to door 2? No, still won't work. We were only gone 5 minutes. No human being could have run to the captain's quarters, killed that guy in there, and run back that fast.
It would be impossible for any of us to be the murderer. That being the case, who could have killed him? Wouldn't it make sense if his killer was someone who had been in the ship for some time? A person like that would know the ship well. They would know the locations of all the hidden passages and secret doors. The numbered door would mean nothing to someone like that. It would be a simple thing for them to enter the captain's quarters.
Then you're saying the killer was Alice?
It was Junpei's turn to raise an eyebrow. He drew his thumb across his lips thoughtfully.
Well, this is all only one possible theory.
All ice. Alice. Is she really somewhere on the ship?
Junpei had only one clue. The keycard in his hand.
Maybe this card will give me access to the Forest of Knowledge. And the big mystery. What could be there beyond the Forest of Knowledge? Anyway, whatever. It's gonna have to wait. I can't do anything right now. I'll come back to this later.
He gripped the keycard tighter and shoved it deep into his pocket. The unique key. The control panel for the electronic lock. Looks like it's got a keyhole in the bottom right. Maybe the key I got earlier. Sweet. Just had to put that key in and now it's on. Junpei, look. There's a minus sign on the screen. There's 8 of them. That probably means we've got to put in 8 digits. Do you think you can figure it out? You said 35 earlier, right? Spook. Eight digits, huh? Let's put another 8-digit number. I press E to enter it. Mess up, I guess I just press C. Alright, let's give it a shot. Nope, okay. 35 equals Z. Okay, never mind. Huh? What's the pass? Oh! Okay, so 35 equals Z. Oh, I know what to do. Okay, so the first number is definitely going to be 35 because we know it's supposed to be 0. E in hexadecimal is 14. Have to figure out what R and O are, and that's gonna be difficult because they're further in the alphabet. There we go. Yes, it worked. Good job, Junpei. Excellent. You seem to have unlocked it. Good work, Junpei. Alright. Let's go. They stepped out of the captain's quarters and into another hallway. The hallway stretched out into... The hallway stretched out in front of Junpei for a bit, before turning left like a great backward L.
Alright, let's go.
Junpei rounded the corner and took off down the straightaway. He ran, and ran, and ran. At the end of the hallway was a door.
That's the next door.
He made straight for it.
Wait, a piece of paper.
He was nearly halfway to it when he noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the floor. Junpei skidded to a halt.
This is...
Suspicious. He dropped down to his hands and knees and quickly tore the paper off of the floor.
Map of the ship's interior for ADEC.
A map.
What's wrong?
Ace, slightly slower by virtue of his advanced age, had finally caught up to Junpei.
I found a map for this floor.
He showed Ace what he had snatched from the wall. He looked at it long enough to determine what it was and nodded.
I see.
With that, he began running again, past Junpei.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yep.
I should keep this, though.
Junpei shoved the map into his pocket and got up to follow Ace. But something stopped him.
Hey, where's Clover?
Clover, stop disappearing! He turned around. Clover was nowhere to be seen.
Damn it, what the hell is she up to?
Junpei muttered angrily under his breath and took off back the way he'd come. As he stomped around the corner, he saw her. She was standing in front of the door to the captain's quarters, her hand on the doorknob.
Clover!
Huh?
As Junpei watched, she closed it gently and quietly.
What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing?
Clover had unconsciously put her hands over the pockets of her jacket, as if trying to hide something.
What the hell is that?
What?
You've got something in your pocket. What is it?
Oh, this? This is... a note.
A note?
Yeah, I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes.
Interesting.
It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something.
What the hell? Let me see it.
No, not right.
But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice.
Hey, Junpei, Clover! What are you two doing? Hurry up!
He's getting mad.
Clover shrugged.
I'll show it to you later, all right? Come on, we gotta hurry.
Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. No. Junpei was curious, but there was something else that bothered him.
From the look of that pocket, it doesn't particularly look like just a note. Jeez, what are you thinking?
I mean, to be fair, Ace also has another bracelet, so, just balance.
For crying out loud.
Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and ran off after Clover. Fancy. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs.
The big stairs. So this is where it ends up. Just like it says on the map.
It was just what he'd expected to see after reading the map. His icy after reading the map himself meant that Ace had probably realized the same thing.
Ace, did he head down?
He put his hand on the handrail and leaned over to look down.
Oh, there he is.
Look, the 4 others are there too.
Oh boy. And not just Ace. Santa, June, 7, Lotus as well.
Really?
Let's join them.
Junpei and Clover glanced at each other and hurried down the stairs. They reached B deck at the same time.
Jumpy! Clover!
June's face was excited. Something had happened, that much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her.
What's up?
Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself.
We found it!
Found what?
We found it!
What did you find?
The last door! We found door 9!
What? Come on! Just follow us! We'll explain on the way!
Okay.
Seven turned and jogged off down the stairs.
Well, if that's the case...
Wait for me.
We should get going as well.
The rest followed.
Jumpy! We finally made it!
The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each one of them felt.
Yeah, it's finally time.
Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it. At least not just yet. Still, everyone said that it was door 9, and it probably was.
We've reached the end.
He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins, and he could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny the prospect of escape was an exciting one.
Something's bothering me. Only 3 to 5 people can go through the numbered door. 7 of us are on our way to door 9. That means that, best case scenario, there will be 2 of us who have to stay behind.
Does it mean that?
2 people. Is there a way?
Junpei looked over at the clock.
4:30. We've only got 90 minutes left. I've got no time to wonder about it now.
Hey, Junpei! June! What the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up!
Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverie.
Let's go, Jumpy!
Jin took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could.
Yeah.
Junpei followed. As a group, they piled onto the elevator and rode impatiently down to E-Deck. It looked familiar. There was a metal grate between the 2 elevators. Seven grabbed hold of it and began to talk.
I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got into the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. After that, we headed down another hallway. It took us toward the bow and eventually to the number 6 that you 2 found earlier. We opened it and kept going. There was another locked door behind it, like usual. But this time we had to complete 2 different areas before we could unlock it.
I hope no one has the gun.
Once we were through that door, there was another hallway that went the other direction, toward the stern.
So, on your way, you found the elevator.
That's right.
So, in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side.
Yeah.
With that settled, Junpei looked around.
So, where's the number 9 door?
Over here. Follow me.
Seven began walking down the hallway that led toward the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him.
By the way,
They had been walking for a while, June in silent step with Junpei, when she spoke.
you know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now.
Huh?
That all 7 of us are going to door 9.
What?
You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus. What's their digital route?
3 plus 7 plus 8 equals 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9.
9. It's 9.
That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they'd wanted to.
But they didn't.
Yes, because Santa wouldn't let them. He said we can't leave June and the others behind. That's why we went looking for you guys.
And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase.
That's right.
Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be the one to stick up for you.
Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's concern.
I don't mean that 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave me behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first.
Is that so?
Junpei was about to respond when Seven suddenly stopped.
We're here.
In front of them stood a door.
So, is this...
I'm curious. If they did just go ahead, could the rest of them go through the other door? So it'd be Ace, Clover, Junpei, and June, right? No, not quite. Unless they had Snake. Interesting.
Yeah.
Junpei couldn't see Seven's face, but he could see him nod.
There's no other place for us to go.
Nope. Just look around.
There would be too many of them for that, though. Yeah, because only 5 can.
There's a big old iron wall at the end of the hallway.
Right? That's math. Yeah.
The other hallways on the left and right are blocked by metal grates.
I see.
It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice.
All right, let's get moving.
Let's see. So say if it was 8. Well, no. It still wouldn't work. Like, assuming that to Lotus, to 7, and to Santa went ahead. Because they have 5 of them. They can't scan a 6th one. That's the main issue. He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. It appeared they'd been telling the truth.
No way.
The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing, made of red paint. The door decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it.
The 9 door.
It was a large double door with the powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish.
We're finally here.
Or garish. Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant.
No doubt about it. This is door 9. Oh, finally! This is the last.
Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. He felt a chill down his back, and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. There was a moment of complete silence.
Junpei, look behind you.
He turned around.
Behind? What?
Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw.
Why? A door and a 9. There's another one.
Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here?
His words came slowly, and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs, he made his way to the second 9. It was a small door set parallel to the door they'd come through, but on the other corner of the room. 9. There was no mistaking the number, and if any more proof was needed, red was bolted to the wall near the door.
There's a red there too. That means... And of course it won't open.
He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was real.
Why? Why the hell are there 2 doors?
It was Ace who spoke first.
Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one?
Lotus was skeptical.
I don't know about that. It seems unlikely.
What makes you say so?
Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where we just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck?
Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room.
No, I don't think there's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though.
Well then, that means...
Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Junpei began to mutter to himself.
So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split it up right,
That's not gonna work.
Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand.
You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them?
yeah, here.
Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her.
Look at this.
Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers.
You get it? The numbers on the top are all the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So...
If 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind, right?
yeah.
Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem.
No way.
So guys, what if hypothetically you had the 9 bracelet and another bracelet that adds to 6? What are the chances then? I don't feel like doing that math, so I hope the game does it for me. The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank.
Come to think of it,
Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him.
what is this room?
The walls were covered with candles. Man, if only Snake were alive, and in this very room, so true. The walls were covered with candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room.
It looks like it's set up for some kind of ceremony. But what kind?
Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet,
Is that an altar?
it was a recessed space set in the wall between the 2 other doors. Sitting on the raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin. A coffin. A coffin. No, it's not repeating. I'm just silly.
A coffin?
A coffin.
No, it couldn't possibly be.
No, that's definitely a coffin. But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? Maybe Steak. And that was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. Deciding not to think about the coffin for the time being. At that moment, Seven spoke. That was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced.
Okay, I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat around here long enough, someone would volunteer. But I guess nobody's got the guts to do it.
What are you talking about?
Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one.
What? You guys didn't figure it out yet?
Wh-
Fine, fine. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong. She just... screw it. Let me just write it out.
Huh? Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone else clustered around him, desperate for a look. Oh.
If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. If you split us up into groups of 3, 3, and 1, you can make this combination.
Wait, this means...
Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital room, I'd still be saying the same thing.
The same thing? Are you saying?
Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind.
Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? Are you some kind of idiot?
Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered.
No, I am completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm gonna have to owe you for getting out of here.
The rest of them began to speak, all at once.
I'm against it too. I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either.
I don't like that idea. There's gotta be other options.
I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero.
Huh? Get out of here, Ace. Finally, they quieted it down. Junpei looked at Seven.
Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's gotta be a better way than this.
Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a blah, blah, snort and a cough.
Doesn't make any sense.
He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corners of Seven's eyes. Aww. That was when Santa spoke.
Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, you haven't. Until then, Junpei hadn't realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable.
Are you... agreeing? You want to leave him here?
Santa shook his head.
Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone.
Then I don't see how it matters.
I said alone.
Huh?
I said I don't want to leave Seven alone.
There was a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver.
What the hell are you...
What? You don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. 3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No. Those are my orders.
Huh?
What do you mean, orders? What the hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you?
You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice.
Oh boy, 3 seconds.
What?
3, 2, 1.
Santa was so fast, Junpei could barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and... God damn it. Knew someone had the gun. Yeah, June.
See? I told you.
His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile.
Huh? What?
His shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze, and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, the revolver. Santa had grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaken brain identified as a revolver, roughly against her temple.
Why? What the hell is that?
Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion.
The gun's from the other room.
What room?
One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken that gun.
Well, it's too late now, fat ass.
Damn it!
A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't so much as flinch. The corner of his lips twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then, the smile faded, and it began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel, quickly, and then forced June to do the same.
Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations! I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands in the red.
3 + 6 + 1 + 8 = 18. That was what Santa had meant when he said he needed 2 more.
Hey, you deaf? I gave you an order.
Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen, like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car.
Right, fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys just don't get it.
No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched, and the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thick plume of smoke snaked out of the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked.
He really shot it? But why? Santa, why are you...
Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief.
Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends.
What?
You knew about the leaf words and the 4-leaf clover.
Santa's cheek twitched, almost imperceptibly. Words!
What the hell is that shit? I've got no idea.
You're lying.
Shut up! Just shut up, you stupid bitch! You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head?
Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth, his face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small.
Santa.
He snorted, then shook his head vigorously, and turned to face Ace and Lotus.
Alright, assholes! What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets! I don't have all day. Oh, what's the matter? Your hearing's starting to go? Going senile, maybe?
Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they going to do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate.
That's it.
June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do.
It's the only way.
He turned to Ace and Lotus.
Please, go.
Huh?
No way.
Jumpy, what are you saying?
Yeah, okay.
If you stay here, you're going to be stuck, Jumpy. And so will Clover and Seven.
I know. But you don't need to worry about us. We'll figure something out. Right, Seven?
Right. You just leave it to us. It's gonna piss me off to do what Santa says, but...
Don't worry about me either. There's still something I have to take care of. No, no! You can't! Ace, Lotus, don't come over! Don't worry about me, please!
June was almost crying. Junpei walked around behind Ace and Lotus. He gently placed a hand on each of their shoulders,
Please.
and pushed them toward the door. They almost stumbled, then righted themselves and took another step, and another. They turned around, and Junpei nodded.
Go.
all right.
Fine.
Ace and Lotus turned around again, and walked slowly toward the door where Santa was waiting for them. After what seemed like an eternity, they stopped, in front of the door marked 9. Santa smiled.
Alright, now let's get those hands on the scanner panel. What's the holdup? What? You think I'm fucking around here? I don't give a shit about this girl. The red doesn't need a person, you know? All I need is the bracelet. You get it? Good. Now put your fucking hands on the scanner. I'm not gonna say it again.
He shoved the revolver harder against June's head, and she winced.
Fine.
Ace sighed, defeated, and placed his hand on the scanner panel. Lotus went next. Lotus glared at Santa and slammed her hand onto the scanner panel. The 4th asterisk blinked on.
Good job. Now, Lotus, pull that lever. Soon as the door opens, you get your ass in there. Try anything stupid, and you know what happens, right?
Damn it.
Junpei could almost hear Lotus' teeth grind. The door slid open. Door number 9 opened at last. It opened with a low, powerful rumble, a drum to welcome the chosen few.
Good. Go.
Lotus and Ace walked through the door, their eyes furious but defeated. Santa waited until they were all the way inside, then hauled himself and June across the threshold as well. 6, 7, 8.
Later.
After exactly 9 seconds, the door swung shut. The gust of air it created caused the candles on the altar to flicker and die. The room fell silent. Junpei, Clover, and Seven had been left behind. Clover looked down at her hand, and traced with her finger the faint blue veins that crisscrossed them. Seven shoved his arms into the front of his overalls and scratched his stomach. No one spoke. Silence made the air feel thick and oppressive. Desperate for something, anything to occupy his mind, Junpei walked to the larger of the 2 9 rooms. Doors. He stood in front of it and looked at the red. The red engaged. He moved to the smaller door. The red vacant. The digital root of the remaining people was 7. 5 plus 4 plus 7 equals 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. There's no possible way for them to open a door with 9 on it. Junpei touched the surface of the door.
June.
He thought about June, about Akane Kurashiki. Was she safe? That was all that mattered to him. If she was alive, if she had escaped this horrible boat, that was what Junpei prayed for. 7 came up next to him. He pulled off his hat, scratched his head, and sighed.
So, what do you want to do, Junpei?
Open that coffin.
What do you mean, what do I want to do? What can we do?
Open a coffin? 7 opened his mouth to respond when... Coffin! Noise echoed through the room. Someone was pounding on something vigorously. It wasn't mechanical. It was certainly human. Junpei and 7 looked at one another.
What the hell is that?
Shh, quiet!
Clover motioned to 7 to be quiet. She put one finger to her lips and closed her eyes in concentration. The 3 of them listened, trying to determine where the sound was coming from.
Where is it coming from?
A coffin.
Could it be?
Yes.
Hey, I think it's coming from this coffin.
Mao.
You're right.
Let's open it.
But how?
What are those muscles for? For show?
You're telling me to force it open?
Just shut up and try!
Junpei and 7 grabbed hold of the coffin. They tried to get a good grip with what little purchase they could find, and pulled with all their strength.
Damn it!
Man, it won't even budge.
There was some sort of keypad attached to the coffin. Its purpose would not have been difficult to determine. Their eyes were almost immediately drawn to it.
Not another one.
Yeah, looks like it.
Do you think we have to put in the right password or it won't open?
I think so.
The noise wasn't stopping. In fact, it was getting louder.
Whoever or whatever's inside this thing wants out, and now.
I know that. But how?
Without a passcode, I don't think there's much we can do.
And they couldn't even tell how many numbers the passcode needed to be.
Isn't there a hint somewhere?
Well, let's look for one.
How about the note you have, Clover? Unfortunately, there didn't seem to be anything near the coffin. How about in Clover's pocket? Clover ran to examine the pews, and 7 investigated the desk, but they turned up nothing.
Ugh, there's nothing here.
Not making this easy, are they?
The sound still wouldn't stop. It wasn't a noise that belonged in that room.
What's the passcode? What am I supposed to do? How can we figure it out? I need something.
The world blinked. Suddenly, there was a voice inside of Junpei's head. Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone. Now the truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand.
Wait, what? What the hell was that? That voice?
Junpei was utterly and completely baffled.
Huh? What?
What's up?
7 and Clover ran over to him, but Junpei didn't know what to tell them.
Huh?
If he had told them he had heard a voice, they'd laugh, or worse, think he was going insane. So all he said it was...
Oh, nothing.
He cleared his throat a little too loud and looked pointedly down at his bracelet. There were a pair of small buttons protruding from either side of it. Junpei. He pressed the buttons. Truth had gone, truth had gone, truth had gone. Right, left, right, left, right, left. That was it. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 8 numbers blinked on and then off on the bracelet display. Junpei checked one last time. One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
Huh?
Huh?
Hey, what the hell were those numbers?
Oh my gosh, are those?
Junpei didn't answer. He simply walked straight to the coffin. He knelt down in front of the keypad, running over the numbers in his head so that he wouldn't forget.
1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1.
With trembling fingers, he punched them in. One, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. That was all of them. He punched in the E button. There was a moment of complete silence. Then there was the sound of the coffin lid unlatching. Someone sat up out of it.
No way!
What?
Why are you...
Oh? Is that you, Clover? I apologize for worrying you.
Were you just taking a nap, buddy?
Snake!
You? Why?
Junpei? And Seven? Is that you? Is everyone else there as well?
No, they went on ahead with a gun. Just like Rip Von Winkle. Still, it was very much like Snake to simply cut to the heart of the matter and ask.
Oh.
Jeez.
Junpei and Seven shared a wry smile. Clover's eyes were filled with tears.
You're back!
With a cry of joy, she leapt into Snake's arms. No.
Gently now. My body's still a little weak.
Oh, you're back!
Clover looked like nothing so much as a lost child who had finally found her home. She cried and cried and cried. Her eyes were red and her nose was running. She hiccuped and gasped as if she were about to begin hyperventilating.
You're back! You're really here!
Her voice was happy, but almost desperate, as if she feared he would disappear again if she stopped talking to him. Tear after tremendous tear rolled its way down her face. Her small arms strained as she clutched Snake's body as tightly as she could. Perhaps she had to convince herself he was real. Perhaps she was worried he would be gone the moment she let go. Perhaps she simply didn't know what else to do.
You're back!
Come now, what's gotten into you? You're acting as though I've returned from the grave.
I mean, you are in a coffin.
Not as though you did! I really thought you were dead!
Huh?
You jerk! Idiot! Idiot! Idiot!
Clover broke into sobs so great she could no longer talk. It was a touching reunion between brother and sister. Even though Junpei knew they had little time, and every minute they waited was a
Snake
minute.
is the Messiah. Praise him and all of his glory.
Thank you. Even though Junpei knew they had little time and every minute they waited was a minute they wasted, it felt cruel to pull them apart. Junpei and Seven sat down on one of the pews, waiting for Clover to calm down before explaining to Snake what had transpired.
I see. I believe I understand things rather well now, thank you. In the shower room, there is a dead body wearing my clothes. Because of that, you thought that I was dead, correct?
He had quickly and neatly summarized the events of several hours.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
You also discovered a corpse in the captain's quarters, and Santa turned on you here, in this room. Do I have it straight?
Well, the dead body in the captain's quarters is a surprise.
Sorry, there wasn't a good time to tell you.
Don't worry about it.
Well then. I've got a pretty decent idea of what happened while I was indisposed, but it's still something of a mystery who did all this, and why.
Yeah.
The corpse in the shower room that looked like me. And the corpse in the captain's quarters. Why were they killed in the way they were?
You don't know?
No. Why would I?
The guy in the shower room. We don't know who he is, so let's just call him Mr. X. Anyway, this Mr. X is wearing Snake's clothes. But you're wearing some kind of weird robes. That means someone took your clothes and put them on Mr. X. We need to figure out who that was.
I apologize, but I have no idea who might have done this to me. I only just now woke up. I was unconscious during all the events you just described to me. They must have undressed me and changed my clothes during that time.
Okay, but why do you lose consciousness?
When were you knocked out?
When we split up to look for the red.
Where did they get you? Do you remember?
It was a small room in one of the hallways on C deck.
What happened?
The same thing that happened to every one of us when we were abducted. A canister releasing some sort of gas was thrown into the room.
I see.
I believe the gas is some sort of incapacitating agent.
Then that means it was...
Zero.
Looks that way, huh?
That makes sense because, like, in the safe ending, when we couldn't be safe, like, it was made very clear that Zero wants everyone to clear the doors, and if Ace kills if Ace killed, I can words so good. If Ace did in fact kill Snake, there we go, they wouldn't be able to do that, so that's why they made sure that didn't happen.
There's nothing else I have to tell you. When I woke up, I was in this coffin.
Junpei crossed his arms and thought.
Why? Why did Zero make Mr. X wear Snake's clothes? How would that benefit Zero? I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean? And I have no idea how I got the passcode for the coffin either. Truth had gone, and truth had gone. Where did those words come from?
Your brain.
Why did I feel compelled to push the buttons on the bracelet after hearing them?
Seven had asked him about it while they waited for Clover to finish crying. He had no answer for him then, and he still didn't.
All I know is my fingers moved on their own. It was like I did it subconsciously. I don't get it. What the hell does any of it mean?
His mind was a maelstrom of mysteries, clues, theories, and more mysteries. He could barely think.
Also, Snake and Clover have been subjects in a similar experiment 9 years ago.
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger. And someone did actually die. A girl. Her name was...
There had been another experiment conducted on this same ship 9 years ago, and a girl had died during it. Morphogenetic field theory. The two murders. Switching clothes. The nonary game.
Whenever strange thing was happening to Junpei himself, the maelstrom in his head spat out words and ideas that disappeared back into the normals as soon as he grasped them. But as he struggled through them, Junpei began to realize something. There was something that tied all of them together, and the point connecting the dots.
Zero. He's the ringleader. The person who trapped 9 of us on this sinking ship.
Mm-hmm.
Zero should know everything.
No shit.
If we can uncover Zero's identity, all of our questions will be answered.
Who was Zero? Junpei had the beginnings of a theory. If you could only test it. Or perhaps...
At any rate, we'll have plenty of time to decipher the details later. For now, it is of utmost importance that we escape. Junpei, it was 4:30 the last time you checked the clock, yes? That means we have less than an hour. We must hurry.
Hey, how are we gonna get out of here?
The 9 door.
Isn't that obvious? Through the other number 9 door.
Oh yeah, you're right. With Snake, we can open the door.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Don't tell me you hadn't figured that out.
As they sniped back and forth, Junpei glanced at Snake's left hand. He was wearing a bracelet with a 2 on it.
Come on, you gotta tell me these things.
I, assumed you'd figured it out.
Forget it. Let's just get going.
7 stomped off toward the smaller number 9 door. Clover, Snake, and Junpei followed. 7 quickly laid his hand on the red. An asterisk appeared on the screen. Junpei and the others followed suit and laid their hands on the scanner panel. Soon, there were 4 asterisks on the screen. 7 glanced at them, then laid his hand on the lever of the red.
All right, you guys ready to go?
Yes.
Yep.
Junpei paused for a moment.
Not yet.
Huh?
Before we go in, I'd like to check something.
You want to check something?
Yeah, but before I do, 7, could you pull the lever? I want to make sure we can verify with just the 4 of us.
What do you mean? We don't need...
Just do it, all right? But if the door opens, don't go in yet, okay? Please, this is really important. I really need to check this, okay? Work with me here.
Junpei looked directly into 7's eyes. The older man looked back for a moment, then nodded.
Fine.
7 pulled down on the lever, and door 9 creaked open. Then they waited. 6, 7, 8. After 9 seconds, the door closed.
All right. That means the 4 of us can go into door 9.
Uh-huh.
So, we knew that already. It's obvious.
Obvious. Yeah, you're right. It is. Now, what happens if we add Zero's bracelet?
What?
Zero's bracelet?
Why don't you take it out, Clover?
For a moment, Clover looked surprised, but she recovered quickly and stuck her tongue out at Junpei.
So you did know I had it. I picked it up because I thought it might be useful sometime.
She reached into one of the pockets of her voluminous jacket and produced a bracelet. Junpei took it from her and turned to Seven.
This was on the left hand of the corpse in the captain's quarters. If you look at it, you can see it's got a 0 on the face. Just to make this a little easier to talk about, I'm gonna call the guy we found dead in the captain's quarters, Cap. Then I should be able to open door 9 with just me, Clover, and his bracelet.
5 plus 4 plus 0 equals 9.
Oh, the big question is, if Cap is the mastermind of this game, would he really put one of these bracelets on? Anyway, let's just give it a shot. Clover, give me your hand.
Okay.
Now the captain's bracelet. And pull the lever.
However, the door didn't open. The reds display read error.
I knew it. Now, what does this tell us?
Maybe the bracelet has to be on your wrist in order for it to work?
No, that's impossible. Did you see how the panel showed a third asterisk when I scanned Cap's bracelet? Whether or not it's on your wrist doesn't matter. All you have to do is put the bracelet near the panel for it to register.
Seven waved his bracelet in front of the scanner panel. Sure enough, a single asterisk appeared on the red.
Huh. Looks like you're right.
See? So what does that mean? There's only one possibility.
That bracelet isn't the number 0. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Then what number is it?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Junpei, scan the bracelets with this combination.
Let's try 7, me, and Cap.
7 Junpei equals 7 plus 5 equals 12, 1 plus 2 equals 3.
If this combination opens the door, then Cap's bracelet is number 6.
What do you think Cap's bracelet is? 6?
Hey, it opened! The door opened!
Did you forget that we did the safe end already?
What? Why? What does that mean?
Both Seven and Clover seemed rather shaken as they turned to look at Junpei for answers. Good job, Relix. As they turned to look at Junpei for answers, the door slid heavily shut. Junpei raised an eyebrow.
Isn't it obvious? Cap's bracelet is number 6.
7 plus 5 plus 6 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
But doesn't it say 0?
So?
This isn't a 0. The symbol on here isn't a number 0. It's a letter O.
Oh.
Huh?
Whoa, wait a minute. I don't get it.
I don't either.
I mean, we figured out that Cap's bracelet is 6, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean there are 2 people with 6s?
Before Junpei could answer, Snake spoke up.
There is most likely only one person with a 6.
But I don't get it. What about June?
Well, this is only an educated guess, but I think June's number was never 6 to begin with. Her bracelet was flipped. In other words, June's real number is
9.
But then they wouldn't have been able to get through the 9 door. Would have they? No, because they'd be over 3.
That seems the most likely.
Does it?
Then all this numbered door stuff was just a load of crap?
Why would you say that?
Because
If June is 9, then the numbers wouldn't match up.
Clover grabbed Junpei's notebook and began to write furiously in it.
Here, look.
She says to her blind brother. Junpei leaned over to look at it.
List of all the numbered doors June's gone through.
I'll let you know what I'm writing, okay, Snake?
There you go.
And that's everything. I wrote down which door she went into and with whom. And I wrote what all the numbers were. So if you switch 9 in wherever there's a 6, the numbers don't work. If the digital root is 7, then you can't open door 4. If the digital root is 2, then you can't open door 8.
Clover, do you notice anything interesting on that list?
What do you mean?
You're talking about 3, right?
3?
Oh, yeah. Santa's been in all of them.
Santa's always in the room with her. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
If Santa's a 0, then it would work out.
Yes, that's right.
What about it?
That's quite simple, really. You told me that the first time you came to this room, Santa was the first to refuse to leave June behind.
Because it would expose that his bracelet is 0.
Now, doesn't that beg the question why? Why would Santa do such a thing? The answer is easy. Because Santa can't open door 9 with only 7 in Lotus.
Does that mean there's 2 9 bracelets then? Because then Ace wouldn't have been able to do his shit with the 9th man's bracelet. Hell, the 9th man wouldn't have been able to open door 5.
Of course, there's only one reason for that. His number isn't actually 3. Santa's real number... 7? Would you be so kind as to modify my sister's equations?
Yeah, sure.
7 took the pen from confused Clover and began to adjust her calculations.
This is what you were getting at, right, Snake?
He read out the changes he made when he finished. He looked at Snake. Snake smiled.
Thank you. That is exactly right, 7. Santa's true number wasn't 3. It was 0.
No way. Santa is 0?
I mean, I've been suspicious of that since the safe ending, but...
And June was 9, not 6. Conversely, Santa was 0, not 3.
Maybe Ace opening door 3, even with the 9 bracelet, the quote-unquote 9 bracelet makes sense. Because, like, it wasn't actually Snake, so it wasn't actually 2 that got scanned. Since that easily could have been covered up too, and that would have added more importance as well for Snake not going through the door. Because that would have uncovered that Ace actually had the 6 bracelet, not the 9 bracelet. Yeah. But then what about door 5? Yeah, because it was... Yeah, no, that wouldn't have worked. But yes, he could have gone through the door with just Ace and Lotus, but then they would have known that his bracelet is 0.
Plus 3 and minus 3, they cancel one another out. Nothing appears out of order.
Santa was still playing by the rules of the notary game this whole time.
Precisely.
So you're saying Santa planned this whole thing?
I'm not sure if he acted alone or not.
Probably not.
But I think it is safe to conclude that he is 0.
Yeah.
If my hypothesis is correct.
Clover bit her lip. She seemed to be having some difficulty believing her brother's explanation. Junpei. Junpei remained silent and thought.
Snake's hypothesis. Something doesn't seem right. June's bracelet being flipped. Even if that were possible, that would mean there are 2 number 9 bracelets. And if that's the case...
All right, that's enough talking. Let's go. It's high time we went through that door.
Door 9 opened. They leapt through.
It's right there.
The dead was directly in front of them as they came through the door. Quickly, they scanned their bracelets. And the detonator stopped.
Oh.
After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them.
All right, let's keep going.
At the end was a set of stairs leading down into the ship.
I think these stairs go to the bottom deck.
They leaned out and looked over the side.
Looks dry.
Let's head down.
After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. And they turned left into another hallway, at the end of which they found another door.
Hey, it's a...
And of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. It looked like the sort of harpoon one would use to hunt the fish, and the kind with 3 prongs, habla. Snake traced the shape of it with his fingers.
This is the Neptune symbol. There must be a key around here somewhere.
Neptune key. I only have the Uranus key card.
Clearly, he wasn't going to open this door.
It's a different planet. Plus, it's the wrong kind of key.
Let's turn around and go back for now.
Yeah.
After examining the door for a few more minutes, they gave up and headed back the way they'd come.
Hey, another door.
Wee, doors. With a little more searching, they found a metal door.
And a card reader this time.
Oh hey, we had the card for that. The symbol was engraved onto the card reader.
It's the Uranus symbol.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once and the light on it turned green. With a heavy metal groan, the door creaked open. Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books.
Wow! It's totally full of books!
Meow.
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
It looked remarkably like a library. Maybe, just maybe, because it is a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books. More like the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the Forest of Knowledge. As he began his search for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Here we go. There's a note on that table. Lights to the books. Huh? What does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next? They spend the rest of their lives locked in the darkness. Rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes, but that has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. It's a coat rack, like a place where you can hang coats and hats and stuff. Well, this one's not too big, so maybe just hats. Huh. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look like music stands. I suppose to put something on these stands? Probably. This bookshelf has some sort of glass in clay. It's pretty big, but there are only 6 books on it. That seems kind of weird. Hey, it looks like there's something on the bottom. You can't really see it though. The glass is a little foggy. Oh boy. The middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock. You know, the kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around until you got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot. What? Oh. Wow, okay. I'm still gonna write that down though because my memory's shit. 6, 3, 2, 4, and 5. You did it, Junpei. Yay. I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if you can get open alright. Powerful light bulb. Interesting. There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though. Hey, didn't we find something kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put it in one of those lights? Yeah, well, it'll get a lot brighter, but if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. There won't be much point unless we can replace all 3 bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs, huh? Alright. Noted. Dad, kind, Laburns, Owen. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary? Sheldrake? Sheldrake. Isn't Sheldrake... Huh? Liebens? This book is in German. It looks like it's the complete works of something. I've never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Dad kind. What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Okay. Interesting. That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny. Why is that funny? Alright. This iron plate is bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. Oh, okay. Scaffold set up in the shape of a cross. That's nice. Kids book here? Looks like it's a children's story about Native Americans. Don't you think it's a random book like that kind of suspicious? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Interesting. Look, this one says Cultural Heritage of Rome. But that's gonna be serious inheritance tax. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. Alright, that's suspicious. What's the deal with these titles? They're all just gibberish. Hey, what if we, like, switch them around? Switch them around? Yeah. If you move them around, maybe it'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. Open here, find bulb. Wow. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened this thing right up. That was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spelled out. Open here, find bulb. That's funny, actually. Are property values going out in space too these days? Yeah, because times are tough for aliens too. This line says cosmic inflation. Oh, this one says. Interesting. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory? Ah, well, it's a theory that posits an nope, I can't read those words, Snake. Knock it off with this science voodoo stuff. You're trying to put me to sleep. Trying to make me twist my tongue. The theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this one. This is that Darwin guy, right? Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. This one says transition of extinct species. We need to hurry it up, or we aren't going to end up in the pages of a book like that. Micrographia, huh? Ah yes, Robert Hooke's famous book. First published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined, and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Okay, Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention... Okay, I accidentally skipped toward it. It's fine. Wait, this is different. Hello. This big opening is the door to the library. It's pretty impressive. Almost looks as the door to a shrine or a church or something. There's another door after and a passageway beyond that. And then of the passageway is a door with that Neptune symbol engraved on it. Hurry up, we need to find the key with the mark of Neptune. Okay, This sounds like a job for the best brother and sister team in the world. Man, it's like 7 and I don't even exist. This one, it looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups. You think they're part of a series of something? They do have the same binding. I see. It's called Correlation of Muscle Bone Density and Bone Strength. You're just saying that because it says muscle. Alright, this is hard because everything looks so the same. So I don't know what I have and haven't clicked already. The Pythagorean theorem. This is a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section. Algebraic number theory. Math, huh? There's another one like that over here. You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry? Oh my gosh, how do you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there were a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. Goldbach's conjecture. Conjecture? What's it about? Like magic or physics stuff or something? Right, I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay? Indian mathematics. It says Riemann hypothesis. What is there to hypothesize about Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens, no. There are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Well. Uh-huh. Modern Japanese literature, huh? Hey, there's another one of those picture books here. Something about these, feels kinda nice, you know? Brings back good memories. I guess even people like 7 were kids once. No shit, you little brat! Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me. Okay. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Am I supposed to put something on those stands? Fine, okay. This is called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it at that, Snake. Doesn't seem like you. It's got a magic wand on it. Okay. So, what's inside? Well, aren't you going to open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside. Whoa! Okay, I get it. This one has some Native Americans on the book. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one. Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some... Whoa. Yeah, I get the idea. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei, let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball's... Whoa. Head? It's a small enclosure, yep. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then... This is a little weird. Shield something? Anyways, I gotta find that last light bulb, but I have no clue where to even look. Because I feel like I've looked everywhere. Oh, what the fuck? Thank you for pointing that out. I wouldn't have thought to try above. I'm still not gonna bother reading all of this because it's too... Well, oh. Huh, looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei. I think there's something hidden behind the books. Well, I got pretty lucky that was there pretty soon. Sheesh. Okay. Where are the stairs? There they are. Alright, so there are 3 lights in here. Change these bulbs. Now they should... Awesome. Shield break 5? Awesome, it worked. Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy. There's something projecting on the bottom. These letters, they seem familiar. Shield break 5.
Sheldrake 5?
No, Sheldrake 5.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
Oh, that too.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Well...
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
But the books are down there.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That's a Braille card. It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards?
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from Zero too?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
Because he doesn't know that she was also in a runner game is my guess. Because she was on a different one.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you.
Good.
I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is 0 is very high.
That's what I thought.
I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment.
Yeah.
And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. And the girl that died during the experiment. She told you all that, did she? At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division.
Am I crazy or is that the 9th man?
Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
Given that the 9th man is him, that would explain why he, trusted Ace so easily, too, with his false information.
So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido...
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research.
I don't think the physique quite matches for him to be the captain, but I do see what you mean. I think you're right. Thinking about it a little more, yeah. Oh, what if this other guy is who... Oh, I think maybe that guy in the purple is the one that ended up taking Snake's place then, in the shower room. That would make sense. Interesting.
All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation?
The rats.
Experiments with humans produce the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's Essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
A game theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it.
Oh, the Diraxy is what you're trying to mention, Spooky. My first thought, though, was like, oh yeah, kind of like IR2. Like, shit started happening as soon as that was written down on a piece of paper. But still thinking about Chaos Head. Yay!
Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people. Right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple.
So with the Noah 2...
Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Yeah, that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are two things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. That's where Hongo came in. They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the
By forcing the children to participate or something like that, he hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields.
The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Huh. Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses? Get down here already!
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was Akane. That was the girl who died.
Honestly, as soon as they said someone had died, I had a gut instinct of Akane. I didn't say anything, but that was my gut instinct. I probably should have said something. But...
Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? Then, who is Jun? No. No. It's impossible. It can't be true. Akane isn't that uncommon of a name.
Yeah,
If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely.
well then ask.
So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything.
Ask.
It was someone else. Of course it was.
Stop gaslighting yourself,
Yes.
buddy.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, all right?
I couldn't do it. Why didn't I ask? What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Fun times. Anyways, Sheldrake. This is it. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? Yes. I think we need to find the 5th volume. Good thing it's right there. Oh, would you look at that? There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press this button. Alright. What was that sound? It sounded like something real big was moving. It came from the top floor. Alright, let's go check it out. There's a keyboard in front of the numbers. And there are 4 Roman numerals on the wall. It's gotta be a hint of some sort. 13... The number 14, 10, 13. Those are all Roman numerals. Do you think we just need to put on the numbers from the wall on the keyboard? No, you can't. The keyboard doesn't have any number keys. You can't type in stuff like 3 or 4. And that means... Well, I bet you gotta type something on that keyboard. Yeah, but you can only enter letters. It looks like you can only enter 4 letters. Let's see how it works. I guess you need to enter once you type in the letters. And you can erase what you typed with clear. Alright, I got the basic operations. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so 13 is... D... Yeah, 13... 13, 14, 10, 13, so... D, E... Of course it's dead. Yay! You did it, Junpei. It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei. Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on. We got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go. Hurry up. It's a thick metal door. There's a handle in the middle of it, though. Yep. Roar. Damn it. Can't get it open. This thing won't even budge. What? Why not? Put in the password. What else do we have to do? Then that means... it's the other door. Other door. Alright, let's get this thing open.
Alright, this is the next...
There we go. I was wondering why I wasn't going back to the novel. Just as Seven was about to finish his sentence, their attention was drawn to the clank of metal on metal ringing out behind them.
Ah, the door!
They sprung around. The door they just come through had slammed shut.
Did that just close on its own?
Don't tell me we can't go back.
I don't know. Let's see.
Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength. My educated guess is they're gonna have to open the other door that they couldn't open to get in.
Damn it. It looks like it locks automatically.
Is there any other way out?
Well, there's another door over on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it, though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked, too.
But there is a card reader, right?
Yeah.
Then perhaps if we find a key card, we could open the door and leave?
Well, yeah, that might work, but...
Hey! Wait a minute! Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh, man.
They took a second look at the room they'd found themselves in. Oh boy. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manner of things. The only word that could describe it was chaotic. It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who had picked up and shaken the entire room a few times.
Looks that way.
Junpei's heart fell.
No way!
For real?
Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry.
Well, we can sit down and wait to die, if that's what you prefer. I rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. All right then, let's begin.
This is gonna be a next week problem. Yeah. Next week problem. But I'm pretty sure we're on track for the true ending now, because, yeah. But yay, that was fun. That's definitely the top word to use. But hey, I was right to doubt both Santa and June as early as I did. I guess not that early, but like after the safe ending, like... But yeah, fun times, fun times. Do you guys have any thoughts to share before we get to the ending? Man, I love puzzle games. You know what? That's fair. Sheldrake is a real person. Interesting. Well, if you guys have any further, like, thoughts and stuff that you would like to share, do feel free to do so in the Discord server. Of course, make sure to appropriately spoiler mark things as well. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for joining me. It was interesting getting the sub end, and I'm pretty confident we're en route for the true ending now. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, I will catch you all next time. Yeah, it's past midnight. I was like, why is it saying Monday? It was Sunday night. But anyways, the passage of time aside, I will catch you all next time. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah. Bye-bye. Good night.